Hello everyone, I am Dr. Natwar Sharma. I am a pediatrician and a pediatric intensivist. But I also have a lot of interest in how the body and mind work. So when we come to an important topic, weight loss, we must understand that it's a comprehensive science and art and just not diet or exercise. So in this program, we'll split it and see one by one how we're going to work about. Next slide. So we need to understand what's our body type, what's our body pattern, organ type. We need to have a medical assessment with emphasis on diet and lifestyle. How do we make the body function the way we want? The mind over matter? Yeah, to strengthen our mind. And how do we do it? To understand your basal metabolic rate and the body mass index, the detox plans, and also sleep. Next slide. So what are the expectations that we have? So, and what's the reality? See, nothing comes easy. There has to be effort, and we'll discuss the efforts. Next slide. So some bitter facts that we all need to understand. Number one, weight loss pill. Doctor, please give me a weight loss pill. I just want to lose weight. Sorry, there's no weight loss pill available as yet. Magic diet. Oh, I've heard about some diet happening that works fantastic. So please understand, we all are unique beings. We all have different lifestyles, different patterns. So something that works for somebody need not work for yourself. Green tea. Yes, if I drink green tea a liter a day, I will lose 1 kilo in a month. Not happening. Liposuction. I just need to lie down with anesthesia, no pain. Just put the machine inside, remove my fat. Fine, you lose weight instantly, but you also should understand, if your lifestyle doesn't change, you'll put down that fat again. Another important thing, when we compare ourselves to animal world, we don't find obesity in animal world. They're very rare, except we see some pet dogs at home who are obese. So why is this happening? Because our current technology has been designed to give us comfort, luxury, less of movement, starting from lifts, cars, transportation. So we don't move much. And currently, with pandemic happening, we're all become sedentary. Everything's happening online. So even lesser movement. And when we don't move, our bodies become sick because we are designed to move. Toxins and water retention, we take up things which basically are not good for us, and to dilute those toxins, our body retains more water or more fat. There's something called obesogens. It's a new concept. How come certain materials make us put on more fat? And there are multi-pronged influences to seek carbs. So why do we seek carbs? Carbs are nice, they feel good. So why do we need carbs? We'll understand in the next few slides. So what are obesogens? They're artificial chemicals believed to contribute to obesity. And they're found in various food containers, baby bottles, toys, plastics, cookware and cosmetics. And when these chemicals enter your body, they can disrupt its normal function and promote fat gain. There have been almost 20 obesogens that are identified. Next slide. Let me focus on top 5. Bisphenol, most common one, present in plastics. All plastic bottles, the bottled water you drink, they contain bisphenol. Cosmetics and the canned stuff. Phthalates. So these are the compounds that make the plastic soft. So next one is atrazine, a herbicide which is banned in Europe. The fourth one is organotins, tributylin, and perfluorooctanoic acid, which is used in non-stick ware. So all these obesogens basically tend to confuse our body with estrogen, and we tend to have more estrogen, thereby putting on more fat. The next common thing we notice, there are some patterns or recursive patterns that basically most of us go through when we actually want to lose weight. Number one, however hard I try, I don't lose weight. I have tried various methods, nothing works for me. Every time I try, something happens. I hurt my ankle, I hurt my knee, my shoulder hurts, doesn't work. You know, I hardly eat, but I still put on weight. I don't know how it happens. My friend who eats twice the amount as I eat, he doesn't put on weight. I started and I did for 2 months, I didn't lose a gram. This is a very common mistake we all make. Please understand that in the first 2 months, our body is losing the fat, but at the same time we are gaining muscle. And muscle is good. See, fat is dead weight. Imagine you carrying 2 5-kilo bags and walking, you feel tired. Similarly, when we carry fat, it weighs upon us, it hurts our joints, it tires our muscles out. So the first 2 months, if you're not losing weight, please understand you're losing inches and you're gaining muscle, which is basically important for movement, for increasing your capacity to exercise more. Next slide. So the 5 fares that are unfair in the current world. So number 1 is milk. Please understand how when you actually look at the milk industry, how it functions, you will not touch milk. The current milk that is produced is basically the cows are injected with hormones. The calves who are supposed to drink the cow's milk is actually dragged after a few minutes of suckling, and machines are just dragging in. Okay, 40 liters of milk produced by a cow. Can you imagine how artificial it is? Not only that, the fodder that is fed is not natural. It has antibiotics. So when you take milk, why do we have so much of cow's milk put in allergy today? This is the reason, because it's no longer natural milk that we used to get decades ago. It's all industry full with hormones and antibiotics and chemicals. Next is refined flour. So the maida or the white flour tastes good because the coating has been removed, it's sweeter. The white bread tastes better than the brown bread because it's sweeter. But at the same time, when you remove the layer of the grain, we lose the fiber, which is very important for digestion and passing the motion, not to have constipation. Plus, it removes rich minerals and vitamins when you remove the coat. Third one is sugar. Yes, sugar has been the number 1 culprit in increasing cholesterol. All these 30-40 years we've been fooled saying don't take fats, causes cholesterol. No. Sugar is one of the most important causes. And there are a lot of studies which are coming up which say how harmful sugar can be. Salt, white salt, extra salt in everything, sprinkled salt, one of the most important causes of increased blood pressure. White rice, when the layer of the rice is removed, again, white rice tastes better than the red rice because it's sweeter, but poor in nutrients and fiber. Next. So this is another important thing I wanted to highlight. There are people who say, however hard I try, I don't lose fat around my belly, or some fat doesn't go away. I exercise so much, I stress so much, but doesn't happen. Because when you are stressed, a hormone called cortisol is released in your body, which makes your body look like this. So there may be fat pads around the neck, moon-like facies, dark facial hair in women, the bones tend to become weaker, heart is stressed out because of hypertension, there is truncal fat around the belly, there are striations, the wounds heal poor, and period disturbances in women. Next slide. So what makes us release this hormone, cortisol, is stress. Okay. There is another hormone that's released when you want to do an activity. It's called a happy hormone. Have you not experienced that when you maybe are not dancing regularly, but once in 3-4 months friends join together, we start dancing, we dance for hours, next morning we don't have pains? Surprising, why is that I don't have pains? But if I start walking even 10-15 minutes or running, the next morning I can't get up because there are pains. The reason is how we react to the situation. Am I stressed? Oh man, I need to wake up in the morning. Oh, I need to run again. Damn it, it's so tiring. I didn't get enough sleep. Yes, because you're not happy in doing that activity, so we release cortisol, which actually makes things worse for us. Whereas when you have happy hormones, like dopamine, it's a feel-good hormone. Serotonin, that's a neurotransmitter, which actually stabilizes your mood, your sleep, your appetite, your digestion. Oxytocin is a love hormone that's basically secreted and when the mother is feeding the baby. And endorphins are like natural opiates or like natural marijuana that's secreted in our body, which is a very good pain reliever and mood elevator. Next slide. So how do I increase these happy hormones? Number one, sunlight is supposed to increase these happy hormones. So waking up in the morning and going out, running under the sun, looking at the blue sky and green grass around, birds chirping, it's a wonderful experience. And that's why the benefit is much better when you do it indoors. Exercise, a nice massage, a good laughter, a good sex, meditation of course, a good sleep. How many of us today wake up fresh in the morning? Most of us don't, because we don't get enough hours of sleep, or even if we sleep enough hours, the quality of sleep is not good enough. And compassion, when you make people happy, when you do things for people, it releases happy hormones. Okay, this is an observation I've made. So two major monsters I call them. Number one is watching movies, especially movies which have action, which are thriller, which are horror. You know, we actually start playing the role. We actually are doing that. Suppose there's a fighting scene going on, my muscles get tight, my heartbeat goes up. So basically, I am releasing the stress hormone adrenaline, in turn releasing cortisol. And when cortisol is released, it seeks carbs because I need instant energy now. And that's why, while watching movies, we tend to snack. Or popcorn, the culture of popcorn with movies. Okay, or the chips, or a nice fizzy drink, a caffeine kick. Similarly, watching sports, same thing happens. That person, the sportsman, is happily playing outdoors. He has got six packs. He is in good, physique because he's actually playing it. He's exercising. What am I doing? I'm sitting on the couch, munching and producing cortisol. Who is winning? Oh, come on. So, please understand that it's better to play sports rather than sit and watch sports. Okay? And watching movies, you know what happens. So, how do we begin? So, please understand, like a farmer, who sows seeds and then reaps crops, it's a process. It takes 6 months to almost 12 months. So please don't expect rapid weight loss techniques. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's a process. It takes time. So how do we go about it? First, burn the old habits, and then sow fresh habits, the seeds, and the benefits are yours. Next. I'm sure most of us have seen leaking taps in the toilets. The bucket is empty when you leave it at night. Next morning when you wake up, you see the bucket is full. Wow, how did it happen? It was just one drop. So please understand, every drop of effort counts. And similarly, every drop of, you take a snack, a packet of chips. It adds on drop by drop over a period of days and months and weeks and years. So you've not gained fat overnight. No, it has happened over time. So every drop counts, even in intake and also output. Next slide. So don't expect from level 1 to level 6 straight away. It needs time and patience and effort. Next. So what are the 5 indicators of good health? Having a good appetite, good energy levels, a good sleep, a good sex life, and a balanced mind. Next. There's some basic rules. Number 1, Respect your body. If you find your body there is some pain when you make a movement or something is not happening, please respect it. Take it slow, take it gradually. Start listening to your body. How is my body reacting? Most of the times I find people are just running, walking, exercising, putting, the music, high music and doing it. No. In that situation, you're not listening to your body, you're just making the movements happen and you don't know which joints you're hurting, which is not fair. Which muscle is tearing? No, not hurt because I am on some music which is elating me. Okay? So, rather than doing that, focus on your body when you do exercise. Listen to your body, understand your body. Many important things learn from nature. See, when you're natural, believe me, we don't have to worry about weight loss or weight gain. When we look at so many things, how birds are never woken up with an alarm. They wake up on their own with the first ray of sunlight. They go to sleep at sunset. But in today's world, I'm sure it's not possible because a lot of things don't help. They don't allow us to do it because the work schedule is different, the time schedule is different. But at the same time, try to minimize it. Okay? So, understand there is nobody like you. You're the only piece in this world. Okay? So, please understand yourself. How do I want to live my life in the next coming decades? All depends on you. How do I add quality to my life? Next. So, what is different about this whole thing? It's basically commitment. You need to commit yourself. Yes, I need to take charge of my life. Next is liability. I'm talking to a doctor now. Okay, I'm liable now. I have to do something about it. Number 3, attention. So when you speak out to somebody, when you take help, and the person gives attention, it's important because we are social beings. We are brought up in such a manner that we like attention. Even from kids. Is mommy watching me do this? Is daddy watching me? Is clapping for me? Is smiling at me? So that grows in us. So when you do give an effort individually, whereas when you get attention, yes, there's a difference. Motivation. Like the next step to attention is motivation. Come on, you've been doing well. Go on. Encouragement. Positive reinforcement. And when you do it in a group, there's a like-minded energy ambience that promotes the work. Next. So the body types, the ectomorph who are thin, lean, mesomorph or muscular, endomorph or obese. Similarly, we have body types in Ayurveda, ancient science, next slide, wherein we have Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So it's a very nice thing to understand what kind of body type you have. It may be a combination of 2 things or sometimes a combination of even 3. Okay, but predominantly 1. Next slide. So, what is Vata body? Basically, different elements air and earth. They appear tall, long limbs, effortlessly thin, often cold, delicate, quick, adaptable, creative, and captivating archetypes. So, they are sensitive, sometimes spacey, busybody, daydreamers. The imbalance produces increased worrying, impulsiveness, inability to take decisions, depression, insomnia, headaches, and fatigue. Next slide. So there are certain foods to consume and certain foods to avoid. So what actually happens, there are certain foods with these body types don't actually digest well, or even if they digest, they don't retain it well. It sort of forms toxins in the body. Next slide. Next slide. Similarly, Pitta. Okay, the appearance is medium frame, evenly proportioned. Some areas are more naturally muscular than others. Okay, characteristics are driven, focused, type A personalities. Imbalance causes heartburn, ulcers, insomnia, vision problems, aggressiveness, and stubbornness. Next slide. Similarly, what to consume. Next, what to avoid. Next, the Kapha. How do they appear? They're large build, sometimes overbuild, sometimes not. Imbalance, they cause weight gain, water retention, mucus buildup in sinuses, lungs, and colon. Prolonged sleep, depression, apathy, procrastination. Characteristics, they are grounded, steady appetite, enthusiastic about life. Great at relationships. Prefer a more sedentary lifestyle. Next slide. So, this is a simple 5-minute questionnaire which basically tells you what kind of body type you have. and when you enter all the details, they send you an email as to what body type you have, what kind of lifestyle you need to live, and what are the foods you need to consume and what to avoid. Similarly, organ type, adrenal, thyroid, liver, and ovary. Next slide. So adrenal body types, what is it? They're basically governed by hormone cortisol, and exercising can actually make it more difficult for people with adrenal bodies to lose weight because they're already in a state of stress, which is what's making them retain fat in the first place. So you find they're in constant state of stress, sleep patterns are disturbed, and there's constant craving for foods. Next, the thyroid body types, very difficult to lose weight or hard to keep weight on. Their body weight can fluctuate, and they have little tolerance, they have hair thinning, they need carbohydrates to cope with stress, and they're in a state of emergency all the time. Next, liver body type, organ type, they inability to process and overconsumption of alcohol and processed foods. They store all of their weight in the midsection. Okay, they may experience shoulder pain or knee pain. The inability to process toxins in the liver. They have high blood pressure and cholesterol issues. Next slide. Ovarian type, basically for females. Okay, imbalanced estrogen production. They have strong symptoms during periods, and they have unpredictable emotions, and they have desire to binge eat. Okay? And emotional stress is always there. Next important thing to understand is basal metabolic rate. Like you mentioned, oh, my friend eats twice the amount as I eat, but he doesn't put on weight, but I put on. So the reason is the basal metabolic rate plus how many calories do I burn when I walk. Suppose I burn say 100 calories when I walk a kilometer. Somebody may burn only 60 calories. So basically it's a genetic advantage that you burn less and more output. But in today's world, it's a disadvantage because we want to burn more. That's when the problem comes. So the body burns how much in 24 hours, even without doing any activity. Just sleeping 24 hours, you'll still burn calories. That's approximately 1200 to 400 kilocalories for male and female. So how do you calculate BMI? There's a simple formula for the males and females. There are actually apps available where you just put your age, your gender, and your height and weight, and you get your BMI. Next slide. So there needs to be assessment for every person who comes in because we need to understand if there are any disabilities, physical disabilities, okay, like diabetes, arthritis, hypertension, heart diseases, any mental conditions. Because if you're depressed, the willpower is poor. Unless you treat the depression, the person cannot actually take charge of his life or her life to move on. Psychological issues, like as I mentioned, recursive patterns. Oh, whatever I do doesn't work for me. Sometimes eating disorders. Next slide. So lifestyle history is important, wherein you understand wake up time, sleep time, the duration of sleep, the quality of sleep, how are the energy levels when you wake up, the work posture, is it right or wrong? Because most of us are on the screen, we slouch, which is not good on the long run. Are we bored? Boredom is one important stimulus to eat more. Screen time. Please understand, when you are on the screen, you are mindful in the screen but unmindful of your habits of eating. You tend to, again, start eating more. How much quality time do I spend with my family to increase my happy hormones? Next, the diet history, kind of food I eat, the quantity of food, am I taking meals on time, am I snacking too much? And you need to calculate your daily calorie intake and protein intake to understand if I am taking less of proteins and more of carbs, is my diet balanced or not? Most of the time, you realize 90% of people, it's not balanced. Physical examination, total examination to understand if there are any problems. Next. So please understand, we have to have goals, short term and long term. Define them clearly before we start. Next. So as I said, how much ever the body may try, if the mind is not stable, not at ease, the body will not give you the same results as expected. So we need willpower. If you want to get up in the morning, yes, you need willpower. If you need to move your body, you need willpower. So how do I develop the willpower? Yes, the techniques like meditation, yoga and pranayama basically helps us strengthen our willpower. I have one thing I've realized in treating clients with obesity: mirror time. What is mirror time? Basically, you stand, every day morning when you wake up, stand in front of the mirror, examine yourself in the mirror, preferably with minimal clothes, to see how your body looks. First thing is to expose yourself in front of your own self, not to cheat yourself, oh I'm fine. No. First expose yourself, take the first step to understand, yes, I don't look good now. Is this the way I want to look in the next 10 years or 20 years? No. This is not what I want to be. So turn around, spend a few minutes looking at yourself to motivate yourself to avoid things which you're already doing and to do things which you want to do to make yourself look good. So physical activity, yes, believe me, there are no excuse of physical activity. A 2 square meter area is enough to do physical activity. Believe me, it works wonderful. So sometimes you can't go out because the weather is not cooperating, or you're traveling, or something is not right. So at least 5 days a week we need to work out. It's important. We begin with warm up, stretches. The core content depends upon what kind of body type you have, what you want to achieve. And then of course we need to relax and stretch and calm down. Next. So yoga has benefits: stress reduction, flexibility, increased strength, weight loss, pain relief, and a healthy heart. Pranayama, the breathing techniques, now they are in much demand because of corona. Corona affects the lungs, and we need to make our lungs strong. Believe me, we are using only 1/8 of our lung capacity on a daily basis, and with pranayama we can actually increase the capacity of our lungs. So these are all proven benefits of pranayama. Next slide. What does meditation do? It will improve focus, concentration, a balanced mind, memory, willpower, mastering the mind, health, and of course a good sleep. Next slide. So these are the 3 diet plans that work. Number 1, did you know diet stands for did I eat that? Number 2, I only eat in 3 places: here, there, and everywhere. I have a condition that prevents me from dieting. It's called I'm freaking hungry always. I just want to eat. So please understand, not everything works for everyone, but something works for everyone, and that is a choice you need to make. Next. So these are the most famous foods. So 1 Coke you consume, it's equal to 1.87 kilometers of walk. A nice burrito is almost 12 kilometers walk. A big packet of Lay's chips is a walk about 11 kilometers. 2 Ferrero Rocher, 2.2 kilometers. A Twix is almost 4 kilometers. KFC, if you can see, it's 5 kilometers. Samosa is almost 5.5 kilometers. The noodles, the burger. I've just put the number of kilometers you need to walk to burn what you've eaten. So please understand, it is so important, to know these facts. I can just eat 4 gulab jamuns, believe me, and in a party, and each gulab jamun is 5 kilometers, 20-kilometer walk. Can you imagine where we stand? Okay, next slide. And these are the most famous food brands. Can you believe that the Dunkin' Donuts, 350 calories, caramel colata 600 calories, and a nice muffin 550 calories. If you see the large Pizza Hut pepperoni pizza, the number of calories. McDonald's, a Big Mac, fries, regular Coke with ice cream dessert is almost 1500 calories. Next slide. So there are many diet plans which are effective, but you need to make your own diet plan which works for you. So intermittent fasting, plant-based diet, low carb diet, paleo diet, low fat, Weight Watchers to DASH diet. Believe me, the best diet is mindful eating. Next, the detox plans. There's so many detox plans, but don't detox more than 3 days, because detox basically makes you lose weight, not only fat but also muscle. It's basically to reset your body system. Next slide. The breakfast, how you do it next, the lunch and the dinner. So what are good snacks? If you want to snack, you have a habit, I need to put something in my stomach, please make sure roasted nuts, fruits, salad, dark chocolate, kale chips, yogurt, boiled legumes, and roasted snacks are good options. Detox water, yes. Please try to consume as much water as possible, at least 3 liters a day. What do? I begin with 500 ml to 1 liter water in the morning, warm water. Basically, water is known to boost your metabolism, to burn more calories. And with meals, please avoid taking water. You take it either 30 minutes to 1 hour before meals or after meals. And we don't realize that sometimes we are actually thirsty, but we feel we are hungry. Okay, so please drink water first. Next slide. Thank you one and all. So get set. It's time to work on yourself. That's why it's important to have a healthy mind and a healthy body. Thank you.